Hello and welcome everyone to the OVRC. Welcome to round 2 of the GT3 Series. I'm joined once again by Erwin.
Hello everyone.
And you come to us from Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium as we come towards the end of practice. Obviously, a bit of delay due to some issues with ACC.
Yep, unfortunately in ACC, a master server outage happened, which resulted in us having to delay the opening of the server, but it's gone live again just in time for us to be here.
Yep. And yeah, a lot of people actually still managed to get on there. A lot of people was on the server and are doing laps. So in terms of a pretty practice session, it's fantastic. But yeah. But before we head into qualifying, which will begin in the next minute or so, do you want to quickly run over the standings?
Yes, I would. Let's go over to the standings. Leading championship right now is Jordan Grant-Smith, followed by Tom Pottage in second, and in third we have Marcus Lawrence. In fourth is Thomas Olsen, and then it's also Elia in fifth. Leading the team's championship is PCDC Motorsports with 35 points. And then in second is Cyber Lambo with 22 points. In third is Radio Bacho Racing with 16 points. In fourth is WND and Link Sports with 12. And then in fifth it's Lycan Racing with 7 points. And as always, if you want to see the full standings, you can do so at the link in the description.
Green light, give it all you got.
So, qualifying begins at Spa. Quite a long circuit, what, 70 kilometers long? I don't actually have my numbers up right now. Head first. So yeah, Dalton first car out on track. Heads out the pit lane. They have moved the pit starting point, if you didn't know. It now starts at the end of the pit lane rather than at the top of the hill, which makes a lot of sense, honestly, in terms of getting quickly out lap. So no longer do you have to wait and drive down half the pit lane to start your out lap, which means a lot more qualifying time on track, as most of the field start to head off now. I think most cars are now on the track right now. So Spa is a 7.004 kilometer long circuit, or 4.3 miles, situated in the heart of Belgium. Famous track, but you know, it's everywhere. I think every modern racing sim has it. You can't escape it.
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable. Spa is inevitable. Life, death, taxes, and Spa. Fortunately, it has got a bit of a reputation of being a bit repetitive. But that happens when you have a track. It's just a good track, you know. It's just generally a very good track, and does produce some good racing actually. Obviously, F1 didn't have that, but that's another issue. Luckily, we don't have that issue in sim racing. We have our own issues.
You didn't think 4 laps behind the safety car was an amazing race?
That's the best race of the season, I think, now. Currently, the car which will be starting a timed lap now will be another than John Dalton. So he starts to head down the start-finish straight. So this is the start line, is the finish line here, as he heads now towards La Source. You sort of hairpin down the hairpin, hard on the brakes here, get first gear, get the car as close to the wall as possible. Roll out wide, don't touch the little sausage anti-cut there. And you start heading down the hill towards Rouge and Rallions. Holds in 5th gear, just lifts a tiny bit, gets over the top. It's flat out here now towards the comms. Shift up to 6th. All straight here, good overtaking opportunity down here. Then once again, you'll hard the brakes into the comms. About what the 100 meter ball is. Car over this is a quick bit of corners. Upshifts earlier, John. That's your 3rd gear, rolls the car a bit wide on exit. And you head down the hill. Another corner. This corner is actually quite tricky. You're braking on the downhill, so it's quite easy to lose traction into it. Then you head into Speaker's Corner, or No Name, or whatever you want to call it. It's got about 1,000 names at this point. Then you now head down towards what I call Pouon. And if you complain about that, tough luck, it's called Pouon. A tricky fast corner here, roll the car wide, get on the power.
There was someone going off into the barrier there.
Yeah, quite a tricky corner actually. You go quite fast into it. Then you head into a sort of next, or not really a chicane as such, but it's a right-left. Alright, well, I try not to get too wide. It's the anti-cut on the exit there. Then head into Campus, also known as Stavilo 1, but Campus, whatever. You'll hear me call it by different things. And head into Stavilo itself. Don't go too wide on the exit. And it's all flat out now down here. It's not really a corner here. And they head into a Blanchimont, which is this corner coming up now. Get car wide on entry. Barely a lift there, told by John there, as he flat out into the chicane or the bus stop. Hard on the brakes. This is actually quite, again, another tricky corner because it's sort of like a really odd angle. Put the car around. Put the power down nice and early, and that is a lap of Spa, and our first time will be a 2:18.981.
First coming up. Jordan Grant-Smith just going fastest, and then immediately passed by Marcus Lawrence. Weston Jr. suddenly into 5th, Erdman into 4th.
Cars has entered pit lane number who that is actually. It's the 13 car. So that's Victor Berlin, who's just dived to the pit lane there. Thomas Olsen now heads across the line now. He goes to P4.
Robert Nygaard about to cross the line, goes into 5th.
And Kerbal coming next. Put himself up to P11.
It will be Damon Wareham next up. The Jag.
Interesting choice of car, I would say. Going P14. The next few cars to cross the line will be currently on the out laps or in VAD laps right now.
Lila just coming out the final corner.
I believe on the out lap still there, showing as blue on the radar. So it won't count.
Yep.
That's the first little lap done. The lap time is quite a long round here. It's a 2-minute lap. It's one of the longest laps generally on the calendar. So got both a bit of breathing space now as John Dalton's on currently an 8.2 second improvement right now. As a few cars having little off moments around the track, but so far most cars are still running around. Only 2 cars in the pit lane. Most improvements, Grant Smith with a 0.5 second improvement for him. He's looking to make his way up the order a bit.
John Dalton goes around the final corner. He is 2/10 up. Should gain a few positions here, and he does move to P3. Go to Grant Smith though.
For a second just now, he'll cross the line and moves up to P2, 0.2 off. Fastest time, Carlisle jumps to P7. Bastian Brunier across the line, up to P8.
Anderson about to improve, could be taking P1 here, and he does.
0.066 ahead of Lawrence. Tyler across the line now, currently 5 seconds up, which will put him pole 17.5. Thomas Olsen next will put him, about P5? Black light him. Craig currently 1.4 second improvement as they all cross the line. Will stay same position but improve their time a tiny bit. Broly just behind them as well. Rams currently 0.3 up in the Jaguar. What do you want to call it? The old red car. Will improve their time.
Lila up next. So he hasn't set a time yet, but he will go into P5. Looks like it will be Tom Pottish next, who has not set a time yet either. And he slows down.
But he's still on his outlet right now, so he's starting this lap now. Obviously, he's waiting for a bit of a gap to the cars ahead. We've got about 6 minutes to go, so you can set about 2 laps now, 2 to 3 laps. Next car on our times lap will be John Dalton once again, 1.2 seconds down, but coming in a 0.3 improvement. Let's shoot a Blanchimont right now. Hyler, who was leading most of the last race until a fuel error, is currently on pole. John Dalton will cross the line and improves to P6, just ahead of Olsen. While the currently P2 man of Anderson is heading into the final corner now. 1.4 up, which will hold it on pole, which it does. 117.3. So still a bit more time to find the Ferraris. Definitely a strong contender out there right now.
Probably next to cross the line will be Kerbel. Currently in 15th, 7 tenths up as he heads into the final corner. We gain a few positions here. And he doesn't.
He
lost out a bit at the end there. But he gains a lot of time, so he gets a lot closer to people ahead of him.
Victor Berlin will cross the line for their first timed lap. And they will go to P14.
Tom Pottage still out there. He had to set a lap. Marcus Lawrence improving right now. Could be taking P1 here. Goes P2.
0.069.
Go to Tom Pottage again. And he will cross the line and go into P6.
The top three are fairly close right now. Grant Smith a bit behind them by half a second. Still about just under 4 minutes to go. So still a bit of time.
As Robert Nygaard improves his time, but not his position. You know, he's just a 6 thousandths of a second off Thomas Olsen now. Seeing a lot of improvements right now. 3 tenths up for Victor Berlin. Falkenstein, 4 tenths up.
I got 3 tenths up right now as
Falkenstein, yep, out into the pits. So we go to have a look at Berlin, who is half a second up right now.
All but 2 cars have set a time. Timothy Glenning and Mark Whitford have yet to set a time in the session.
Yep, Mark wasn't sure if he was going to make it due to dinner. But he seems to have at least joined the session. Hopefully he'll be able to start the race. If perhaps he'll have to start from the back of the grid.
Imagine being a real race driver. So sorry, I missed qualifying because I was having some food.
Yep.
Just, you know, Lewis Hamilton one day. Like, I still didn't qualify. I was having some food.
Still finish first.
Still finishes first. A few cars still out on track right now in the last 2 minutes, so got to be basically crossing the line.
Marcus Lawrence, P2, about to improve though. Like he lost a bit of time at the end there, and so he doesn't improve after all.
A bit slow through the bus stop there. Tom Pottage is currently improving. They will cross the line and they will move to P4.
Ayla also improving slightly as they head into the final corner. 3 tenths up, 2 tenths up. P1, it is.
Provisional pole for Ayla then.
But Nygaard heads around the final corner with an improvement. He goes into 7th.
All the top 3, all names begin with M. Just thought I'd say that. So the next few cars coming are on the out laps right now, so they'll be able to set one more time as Wareham goes off at the Cums. They will not be able to set a time, I don't believe. The checkered flag will be out by the time they set out, so 50 seconds for anyone to really get the...
Anderson is improving right now, currently in P2, but could still have a chance at pole position here, although Hyla is also improving.
Yeah, Grant Smith is on quite an improvement as well right now, 0.4 up. I think he can probably nail the bus stop. They possibly have a chance of at least getting to the front row.
Anderson losing some time in the final sector.
2 temps up as he heads through the bus stop chicane, but lose the bit on exit, so I will put him on pole, but will it be enough to keep him there for much longer? Grant Smith heads through the bus stop now. 6 temps up. Loses a bit of time though and goes only P4 as checkered flag will be out now.
Hyla loses his improvement, it seems. Lawrence about to cross the line. Might be improving slightly his time, but won't be improving his position. And so he will stay in P3. His eyes are on Hyla.
Yep, Hyla's the only real threat I can see right now. Grant Smith has a chance on this lap, but it'll be his last chance as he does have enough time to finish a lap.
Hyla has a tense up as he crosses the line and goes into P1.
That's provisional pole now for Hyla.
Now Anderson's still out there as well on a timed lap. So is Grant Smith.
Those two are really the only cars that have a possible chance up right now.
Sebastian Brunier is on a little improvement as he is about to cross the line. I don't think he'll gain any positions out of it though, but we'll see. And he will stay in P14. And Grant Smith lost a lot of time. 1.2 seconds down right now.
That'll be his lap over essentially, I believe, in terms of improvement. As another 4.9.
Anderson abandons his lap.
Yeah, he goes very wide, which means that Hyla has basically secure pole position for round 2 for a car which was not the most confidence inspired, I imagine, when he came into the session. He's currently sitting on the top spot right now. Grant Smith still continuing his lap, but 1.5 seconds down. I don't think this is going to be an improvement. I don't think, unless I get some serious timing bug as he heads into the pit lane. That will be qualifying. So Hyla will be on pole position, followed by Anderson, Lawrence, Grant Smith, Pottage, Alida, Nygaard, Dalton, Olsen, and Erdmann. So as the grid prepares to form. About just over 2 minutes 45 till we are going. There will be a full formation lap around here, which is quite a long time, I will add. The formation lap does take quite a while around here. So do you have any real predictions right now? Or are you going to
Well, it's looking pretty close at the front, so and it's difficult to say what exactly is going to happen. Hopefully Hyla puts enough fuel in his car this time around.
Yeah, strategy I think can be a key point. Because how long the pit lane is around here, like you take yourself out of the race for a long time pitting. So you want to plan it properly. You don't sort of do it too early or too late, or yeah, you just want to do it properly. I think Hyla's got. I think all the top 4 realistically have a good chance in this. I mean, Grant Smith I think is the least likely of them. But you never know. Towards the end of the session, he was getting pretty close. So it's all up in the air, really. Being his top 5. I think anyone P5 downwards has got a hope of a podium. If the top 3 have, or top 4 have an incident happen. But it should be a fun race, you know. It's Spa. Hopefully, we don't have any incidents on the first lap, which often, unfortunately, happen around here due to the nature of it. It'd be quite tricky. You get the start line is where they're gridding up now, so it's on that downhill section. The cars will start rolling there, but the finish line's at the top. So, worth noting that because it is different. So let's quickly run through the grid right now then. So Hilo is on pole position, followed by Anderson, Lawrence and Grant Smith for row 2. Row 3 is Pottage and Alila. Row 4, Nygaard, Dalton. Row 5, Olsen, Erdmann. Row 6, Berlin and Carlisle. Row 7, Bingens and Sebastian Brunia. Row 8, Castro and Fulkerson. Row 9, Kerbal, Lowe. Row 10, Rowley and Wareham. Row 11, McRae and Glennion. Final row will be Whitford on his own. As we have 7 seconds until the cars will begin their formation lap. All the cars should be ready now. So, Tyler will lead of the pack away. Very long formation lap around here. Very important to get your tyres and everything all up to temperature and stuff. Don't want to be sitting there with cold tyres on the start or cold brakes, because I think people towards the back of the field will have to anchor up a bit, especially going down to the columns at the end of the Kemmel Straight. So, 23 cars in total. As a few people are rushing down the track right now. Whatever reason. They forget to go. So a bit to Berlin, and I think one of the Lamborghinis just rushing through the field there, getting back to their position. So I guess they forgot to go, or on the toilet, or whatever. As interesting warming up tactics going on in various places.
Seems Mark Whitford has also got going, so he finished his dinner in time for the race.
Being must barely not have indigestion. You know, eating that quickly, not great. The format, I think some of the positions are being a bit weird because some people are sort of checking up and going. So I don't know if it's the overlay is not making sense right now. It's a bit.
I don't know. I am always hiding the positions on stream in the first little part of the first lap, because it always is weird.
Weird and spooky.
Ooh.
Spooky ghosts in the game. It's just, yeah, the I wish more sims would have a proper safety car like iRacing and R Factor 2 have. It's just nice to have a safety car up front, you know, with flashing lights and stuff. He is caught out mid-race to annoy everyone. As we have a stopped car of Rowley is stopped, but he's back going again in the 38 McLaren.
Huh. That's weird.
Not sure why he stopped, but he's going again, and he's going back to where he should belong. And then he stopped again.
Okay.
I think he went too far up the field.
Yeah.
He went past Glenning and McRae, where he should be ahead of Glenning right now.
Goes ahead of all of them again.
I wonder if his like overlay is bugged out or something weird like that, because you see, they need half spins.
Yeah, that doesn't help either.
Well, the cars should be going 2 by 2 very shortly, so hopefully everyone's in position and all of that, because that is some weird things going on. Some of the field's alright, so you know. Top 4 sort of just together right now. Still quite a bit of time for the cars to form up, obviously, because again, we're using the other start-finish straight for the start of the race, just to confuse everyone. Remember, it's only for the start they use it. All the times, everything else is done on the standard start-finish straight. you would expect in like stuff like Formula One. So all the cars start to form up, 2 by 2. Some people going in a bit hot into it. Hope everyone get in position in time. Should be able to get in position in time. Looks like everyone's in position now.
Yep.
So, spot 2 start to roll down, start finish straight towards the start line. And very shortly going to go racing for 1 hour of Spa for round 2. Either on pole position with the outside line for the start, quite technically. The flag goes green and it's a bit of a poor start, but the Ferrari doesn't get much more better as Grant Smith makes a position up off the start. So far as one of the McLarens goes off a tiny bit, but keeps going. So far everyone has got through turn 1 and 2. So down the Kemmel straight we go. As the leaders, Anderson's looking around the outside of Hyler. Really going someone behind. Grant Smith under attack by Lawrence as well. As Tom Porter's under attack by either. Racing going on behind as well. So far, so good. Everyone's somehow got through the first few corners as well safely. Mark Whitford is somewhat on a bit of a charge right now. Goes very wide out of no name. Somewhat being a bit squeezed there by the Jaguar. Goes to hold it line. Where? We're going to look down the inside and does so and moves over position. So he is very much trying to make as many positions as he can up right now. Early stages. In fact, he did not qualify. Broly goes a bit wide, but keeps going. So
Grant Smith getting right behind Anderson.
quite a bit of a slipstream right now. Trying to do anything into the bus. Looks around the outside and goes very deep indeed, and probably will have to take the escape route, which will possibly cost this to Anderson, who will have Lawrence with a better run on the inside of the source. Very close there indeed, as just about avoid touching each other, but Lawrence just gets ahead now down the hill. That's that one complete as Grant Smith takes a very aggressive line through. That's right over the top of the hill. All train somewhat falling behind. Well, Edmund's currently being overtaken by one of the McLarens right now. Chris, 22, as Whitford dives off the track there, the comms, so possibly outbrakes himself a tiny bit there. Again, keeps going. He's currently in P17 right now. As his teammate is currently made a move on to Robert Nygaard.
See if we can catch that move on the replay. They go side by side through the corner. Yep, and John just getting the better line there.
So Hyatt's made a bit of a gap now to Anderson in the Ferrari, so it's 0.8 last time it went for a timing bar. There's a gap behind Elia to Dalton. Let's see if Dalton can close that gap at all. Berlin's kind of on its own right now in P10. Everyone else sort of spaced out quite evening as Whitford's going to make a move onto Falkenstein into bus stop. Lamborghini on the inside, but Whitford sort of chops a bit off the front of it and gets up enough of position. So Whitford definitely on the charge through the field right now. It's like all the way down in P23 in P15 right now. Decent start for him as he gets past both the Lamborghinis. As
Lawrence has Grant right behind him as they enter the Camel Straight.
Yeah, all dancing right behind the back of that Ferrari, but the Ferrari will start to pull away a tiny bit down the straight. Sebastian gets a move on to was defending from Carlisle, so what's position there.
And look at replay between Weston Brunner and Adam Carlisle. Does make the move there into the corner I can't remember the name of. It's nicely done on the brakes.
And Carlisle's next threat is going to be Whitford, who's currently right behind him, going into Pouon. Lila is hanging there. With Tom Pottish, who's somewhat falling off the back a bit of the lead four. Definitely within range of if one of them makes a small mistake, he'll be right on top of them, so not quite the equation yet. There's a few people going a bit deep into the bus stop, including Damien Lowe. I think one of the other McLarens, I think of Castro as well, so we're trying to get a bit deep there, losing some time and positions. Carlos also fallen down the order a tiny bit, as alongside both one of the McLarens, I think of Kerbos, going up the Rouge, forced wide as the car stopped on the X. That's one of the Audis.
That's Sebastian Erdmann in the Audi.
It's just about moving again, and we'll drop down quite far down the order to what, P22. And obviously a moment up the hill there, and good job by everyone coming up behind to get out of the way. As we're more worried about the fight going up the hill, because you know that can quite easily end up in one of them hitting them. So far, so good. The gaps are somewhat stabilised a bit at the front. You sort of just there's similar lap times going on, but it's definitely no one's really making a huge gap.
So got Nygaard and Olsen chasing down John Dalton. Fight for P7.
As Erdmann's managed to get quite far back up the order again. Well, leave that. No, Falkenstein's spun it. Stavolo. That's why I was a bit confused then. 'Cause I saw one of those bright blue and pink Ferrari Lamborghinis.
Let's see if we can catch a replay of what happened to Wolkenstein. McLaren ahead of him goes a bit wide. Then he just has a little bit of oversteer there. That's got the Audi coming around the outside. And he dips a wheel on the inside on the grass. That is him off the track. Dropping all the way down to last position, P23.
Definitely. Dalton slipped behind Nygaard and Olsen. So he's once again back down into P9. So something must have happened in the last few corners as they head down the Kemmel Straight.
And Dalton's lost a second and a half. So seems like he possibly may have made a mistake there. Unfortunately, I joined in too late to that fight to try and get a replay of it.
I assume he's probably gone too deep at the source, if anything, because he was still having decent momentum running down the hill. He probably went a bit deep or got a bit pushed and ended up a bit wide and then had to make his way up. So he's losing a bit of time to the cars ahead. I think everyone's sort of now in that stage of the race where it's not exactly easy to make a move. The tyres now a bit worn in the way the ACC tyres are. But after a few laps, they do start to have a bit of degradation in performance. Can't quite push as hard. Everyone's sort of be hovering around their sort of standard lap times right now. Saying that, last lap we had Hyla and Lawrence at their fastest times. 17, so it's still a bit of pace out there to find. See how it evolves as the race goes on. So the gap, the field's all spread out a bit as well. I have track maps, that's what I'm using to watch the race, and the field is fairly spread out. It's sort of little packs of cars you sort of get, but I think through the instance a bit further back, the yard has somewhat spread it out a bit further. As one of the Audis is in the pit lane of Erdmann, so they begin their long trek down the pit lane. I wonder if that's for repairs, because there's definitely a bit of damage on the rear of that Audi. This is the car that went off at the top of Oranion. Probably rear-ended into the wall. Olsen's still very much in the hunt of Nygaard right now, as Nygaard is dropping further back off Elila and Cottage. We'll see if Olsen can make anything happen. It's quite comical watching the Bentley and the Audi fight. One of the smallest cars in the class up against one of the biggest cars in the class. Good to see one of those Bentleys still run. I mean, it is a simulation at the end of the day, so the real life events don't always matter. You know, the Bentley is still technically ran in real life, it's just not in the same capacity. Wonder how much longer it's going to stay in the current BOP cycle, because ACC definitely does not pay so much attention to the older cars when it comes to BOP. Some of the 2018 cars that only ran that season are not that competitive. They could be, but I think it's fairly deliberate at times, just to it just makes it easy. If you've got to balance 10 cars rather than 15 cars, it's just easier. Dalton actually is losing quite a bit of time right now. He's 2.6 seconds behind Olsen, so definitely not the greatest time in that Ferrari. He's got Victor Berlin right behind him.
Yeah, Berlin is definitely catching up. The gap between Anderson and Lawrence seems to be getting smaller. They get past Erdmann, who's a lap down now.
There's outlap right now of pitting, so that's how much time you lose in the pits, though. Basically, half a lap of time is just gone by trawling down that pit lane, so it definitely changes the dynamic. And unfortunately for him, he's got blue flags a lot, which, while we don't really say you have to get out of the way immediately, you still lose time to them, because at the end of the day, you can't defend, you can't really take normal lines. Especially when these guys who are as quick as they are come through. You sort of have to get the position up. Whitford is close to get onto Sebastian Brunier. He's made his way up to P13 currently right now, as his mate is under pressure. As Olsen has lost a bit of time to Nygaard that last lap. 2 seconds down, so maybe a little bit of a moment. Doesn't look like to be too damaged. Possibly just had a little Audi moment then.
Yeah, doesn't seem to be any damage, any obvious damage on the car. Corwins had a look down the inside of Anderson into the bus stop.
Ooh, they're very close there. It's through it. It seems that Lawrence has got a bit quicker of the two cars right now on this stage of the race. Down the hill.
Ooh,
Anderson takes the
Anderson.
Joker lap. Barely avoids the wall on the way through then, so that could have ended a lot worse than it did. Yeah, so he's struggling a bit for pace in that car. As Victor Berlin's had a moment, he's dropped down to P13. He was right behind Dalton earlier.
I think we've got this moment on the replay. But yeah, given his lack of speed down the Camel Straight, something happened in Radion.
Mid-engine car, strike again. Taking a mid-engine car around here is always...
Also takes a bit too much curb on the exit there. Oh, and he's off the road again.
Anderson's off. Is that Anderson off the track? No, it's not. Who was that? Oh, Victor Berlin's off the track at Huon.
What's happened this time? Maybe we can actually catch the replay of it now. Oh, oversteer. Keeps it on track for now.
Has he toasted his tyres? He might have just overcooked his tyres a bit, and now he's just sort of struggling to get them back down pressures.
Yeah, he is sliding all over the place.
Got a bit of damage on one side of the... No, he's got damage. He must have damage at this stage.
Yeah, that car looks unsettled.
Oh, and he loses it in the Stavolo and collects one of the Lamborghinis going through there. That was
Volkov on Falkenstein.
A lot of damage.
tries to rejoin the track, but
Uses the wall to get around a bit.
his steering seems to be looked a bit bent the way he went through there, but seems to have gotten going again fine.
I don't really think if it's this clip.
Lawrence trying to go now the inside of Anderson.
Ooh. Anderson gets forced a long way out, and Lawrence moves up a position as Spitzburn spun once again. I believe he'll be returning to the pit lane. As Anderson gets very close to the back then. And all this is doing though is helping Hilo get a gap. It's 3.8 seconds now. So, and Grant Smith is also just lurking there as well. So, I'm gonna be a bit careful. Don't lose too much time fighting each other, but at the same time, you don't really want to be behind the other car. You know, it's racing in the day. You want to be ahead. You always want to be first.
Falkenstein and Berlin have both gone into the pits. As here you see Falkenstein's car, it's just looking not great, to say the least. I
mean, he went head first into a Ferrari, you know. His car's probably made of more Ferrari than Lamborghini at that point.
Yeah.
Whitford's got ahead of Sebastian Brunier.
Berlin's car seems to be kind of shaking around in the pits.
Probably crapping.
Yeah. Car is not healthy.
So Mark Whitford is closing the gap on to Chris. Meanwhile, at the front, Grant Smith going around the outside of Anderson to La Source. Trying to... Whoa! Anderson clips the wall and hits Grant Smith, who's facing the wrong way. He just tries to roll backwards and get off the track.
Let's look at a replay of that. Grant Smith moves to the outside. And... ooh. I think Anderson touched the barrier a little bit there, and then he hit the back of Grant Smith.
Yeah, I think he got a bit closer to that barrier, and that's all bounced the other way out. Well, there's any damage from hitting that barrier at that. Tom Potter just closed the gap to 9.9 after all that. What it does mean is that I don't think Grant Smith got any damage from that, but he is definitely has his tyres toasted, and he is down in P7. Got a bit of time to make back up again. Got Olsen behind him now. Focused on Berlin, still in the pit lane right now. Still getting repairs. Been in the pit lane for quite a while, so it must have been quite a bit amount of damage.
Yeah, I think they're... This Falkenstein is right at the end of the pit lane. If he does get going again, yeah, straight back out. No 10 minutes on the pit limiter.
Whitford's right behind the McLaren of Chris right now.
Chris Beentjes.
Actually, I'm just telling you, making you pronounce the name, because I have no clue. Look for the inside, possibly into the bus stop. On the brakes, clips up ahead and moves up a position to P10, so that's the top 10. And the next car up on the road for Whitford is his teammate. Both WD Motorsport cars.
Falkenstein has got going again.
He's just ahead of Hyder. Don't know how many. He probably is going to be 2 laps down at that rate.
Berlin still in the pits.
Grant Smith's got underway again as Damien Lowe's entering the pit lane now, so another properly scheduled stop as there's 36 minutes left in the race. So,
Yep, we're getting to the normal pit window now. The McRae coming into the pits as well.
Grant Swift's gapped Olsen a bit, so it does seem like he's got back up to pace once again. As Sebastian's had incident, or he's dropped back behind Glenningen somehow, so...
We lost 7 seconds this lap.
Guess he had a little incident at some point, but not sure when. As Victor Berlin's back underway again. As McRae is also in the pit lane right now, so that's 2 cars currently in the pit lane for their scheduled stop.
Yep. McRae seems to be pulling into his pit box. We're right behind Damien Lowe's pit box. Of course, in shot there. As Jordan Grant Smith is into the pits.
That's the first of the sort of trend runners into the pit lane. I guess he's hoping to get a bit of clear track, get some fresh tyres on, and see if he can get some pace back out again of that Porsche. As
looking at Tom Pottage behind Anderson. They're doing very similar pace right now. Gap under a second.
Damien Lowe pulls out the pit lane right now and just gets overtaken by Erdmann. Erdmann gains a position.
Gray comes out of pits as well.
As Broley enters the pit lane now. Quite staggered stops, it seems. No one's really sort of just going in all at once. It's sort of just...
Yep. Jordan Grant Smith has got going again. At least I assume it's again, or he might have a very late pit box. Yeah, he's just got a very late pit box.
Yeah, it would show green on this thing if he had pitted, or changed his tyres anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is a mandatory pit stop. Tom Bosch is right behind Anderson right now, so Anderson, despite having quite a good strong start, is struggling a bit in this stage of the race. Currently 1 second down on this lap, so possibly struggling a bit. He might be thinking about pitting very shortly. Once you gain some clean air, it's probably your best chance of getting a result at this stage. As Lawrence is 7 seconds behind Hyler, so Hyler's got a clear advantage right now.
As Grant Smith comes out of the pit lane. Rejoins the track in clean air.
Just bang out some laps.
Lawrence is into the pits, and O'Lila is into the pits as well.
So is Robert Nygaard. A few people starting to set their proper first scheduled set of stops. As John Jolton also enters, followed by his teammate of Whitford. This definitely seems to be the moment now for most people, as Glenningen also enters the pit lane as well. Cabal enters the pit lane and knocks over the cone. Castro as well as Carlisle. Quite a few people in the stops right now. We'll see where everyone forms up afterwards.
Be in there quite a while. They're just now reaching the far end of the pit lane. Actually make their stops.
Wareham's into the pit lane now. So Hyler still leading on lap 12. There's plenty more cars out and on. There's about even actually in terms of cars on track in the pit lane.
Marcus Lawrence has got going again.
And so is Lila, who's ahead of him. So possibly a slow stop by Lawrence as Fitzberlin goes past them. But where Grant Smith's now heading down the hill as well. So Grant Smith obviously lost some time there as Whitford gets going. Nygaard gets going as well. Dolphin just behind, so the two WD cars have swapped positions.
Oudening coming out of the pits as well. Rebel still standing still. Michael Castro gets going.
That's the top three of entering the pit lane now. So that's Hyler, Anderson, and Pottage all in, as well as Olsen. First we see Chris and Sebastian Brunier in the pit lane as well very shortly.
Yep, Chris Baintjes is coming in. Sebastian Brunier coming in as well. So everyone coming in these couple of laps. Castro and Kerbal are fighting into Lecom. As Castro will be ahead there. Still close. Very close between Olila and Lawrence as well.
Hyler's just got to a stop, and so Anderson's also just stopped as well in their boxes. Pottage a bit further up the field, so he'll be going first, as Olsen just joined in as well. There's Olila, I don't. Which is why is Anderson behind Olila? Did Olila have a same pit stop or going on here? Because obviously he was quite a bit behind, so we'll see what happens. Obviously they're coming down to the source as Hyler's getting going, so I think Anderson's lost a lot of time during his pit stop. As Anderson and Pottage get underway in the same order that they entered, but very close as well.
Olsen gets going as well.
He'll stay behind what it was before as Grant Smith gets past him.
Chris Baintjes gets going. Sebastian Brunier is still in his pit box. I think he is about to leave as well. Yep, there he goes.
That's all the pit stops done, so as soon as he's back on track, we'll have a rough order again. As Pottage and Anderson are literally on top of each other right now, and they're very close indeed, so definitely a bit more pace found in that Porsche by Pottage. Lila somewhat still ahead of Lawrence right now. The gap for the lead is now 9.7 seconds. Bit of traffic up ahead for the top two to make their way through. Victor Berlin is ahead currently. He's back on track again, a few laps down. Unfortunately, after obviously quite a serious set of incidents for him. Quite a lot of damage sustained to that car. There's no surprise that he will be 2 or so laps down.
Lawrence has a look around the outside of Olila into the bus stop and they touch. And Olila spins off into the grass. Rejoins there.
Okay, gets back going again.
Yeah. Have another look at that. Replay was just a bit too short, so we just got the end of the incident there. Fortunately.
Helped Grant Smith get ahead of Elida.
Yep. Lawrence seems to be right behind Pottage now. Or is that lapped car?
That's a lap car.
Yeah.
That's Victor Berlin behind them.
Things have spread out a bit more, it seems, after these pit stops.
Yeah, Hyler's got some more pace now. He's extending that gap by a few seconds. The question for him is just, can he keep the car going? So we go, yo, flag, that is Castro. The hill.
Oh, what's happened to him? Have a little
Oh,
replay. As he gets into Le Com. And oh, that's a very weird incident. Doesn't get a turn in there. Just takes off to the left into the barrier.
that's a weird one. Nygaard's closed the gap to Thomas Olsen. About half a second back now, so he's definitely closed the gap quite a bit.
On board with Nygaard. Used to be faster as they enter the Camel Straight. He's right behind Olsen.
Pulls out to
They
the
go
outside.
side by side.
Olsen with the inside. Nygaard go a bit deep and lose a bit of time because of it. Keep pointing the right way and we'll try and close the gap up once again. He was technically ahead if the timing being there by 0.009 seconds.
Ah.
But yeah, obviously a bit forced went the long way around there. It's very easy to defend it like that. You just push the car wide off the track. Curbs do the rest. Like bosses are losing a bit of ground to Anderson right now.
Lawrence does seem to be closing up to Tom Pottage.
I think Tom Boss might be struggling a tiny bit for pace.
Has done a better lap this time around. But Marcus Lawrence still a couple tenths faster. have to say, nice job to Mark Whitford. Started all the way at the back, is currently in P9.
Yep.
7.4 seconds behind Robert Nygaard though.
Who's
He'll
got a
have
very
some
good
time
run.
to make up. And
Olsen's
he doesn't
got-
seem to have the pace for that right now.
I got a very good run on Olsen right now. He's going to try the same thing he did a lap ago. Again, the same situation. Forces the long way around, has to cut the inside. Olsen goes even further wide. Nygaard does slip ahead. So things are going to calm down a bit. Nygaard, obviously, Nygaard versus Olsen in the closest fight right now. Sebastian, somewhat trying to close the gap to Groningen right now, but not really anywhere close enough to make any real effect.
Seems to have lost some time recently, because the gap on the timing is 0.5, but just moved to 1.5, so he's lost a second.
The lap 17 right now. I got quite a commanding lead once again after the sort of little bit of fighting going on with people behind, so it cost them quite a bit of time being able to pull that gap ahead.
Nygaard seems to be extending the gap between him and Olsen a bit right now.
A bit more pace right now. See that goes the other way.
Sloan's also not really catching up to Tom Pottage anymore. Staying around that 2-second gap.
Still a chance he could close a bit further, but we'll see. Gap between Pottage and Anderson is also opening up still. About 2 seconds. Everyone's always in the 218s, 219s right now in terms of lap time, so all fairly
Volko
evenly.
van Valkenstein got a drive-through penalty, which is quite a long penalty at this track.
Yeah, not really the thing you want, I don't think. I believe drive-through is for track limits in ACC, so
I mean, I don't know what else it could have been.
well, I'm not giving penalties out, so yeah, it will have to be that. I think stop and go is for speeding the pit lane.
Yeah, and his pit stop was quite a while ago. But yeah, this is quite a long penalty, as you can see on board with him right now.
Well,
It's like the worst track to get a drive-through penalty at.
Yeah. Look at him go down the pit lane. I think he'll still be ahead of Victor Berlin though, as Rowley gets a drive-through penalty. So I believe people are starting to push their free limits a bit too far now.
Yep, that does seem to be the case. As Falkenstein gets back up to speed again. When he's still lapping around.
A little fight for P11 might be forming with if those little cars all getting within a second of each other now.
Yep, Brunier has managed to catch up to Gladdening again, in half a second now actually. And they're both catching up to Chris Beentjes.
They now head down the hill. Rowley enters the pit lane now to serve his drive-through penalty, which will put him quite far back, I'd imagine. So hopefully he doesn't get a stop and go for it, because that has been even worse.
Yeah, I mean, they should still be ahead of Falkenstein at least.
I mean, yeah, he would be, but that's not exactly the same like giving Falkenstein's a few laps down due to damage repairs.
Yeah. Gray is also a lap down, so... Where is McRae right now? He seems to be going past... Right now, so you're doing the source. Anyway. Lawrence is catching up a little bit to Tom Pottage again.
Yeah,
And we've still got that fight for P11. On board with Brunier chasing down Gladdening and Beentjes.
we'll head down the hill now. Getting very close to the back of that McLaren, so we have enough top end to make a move. He looks to the outside.
Oh!
is flying off the circuit. Back going fairly quickly.
Another look at that. Maybe we get a better camera angle on it this time. Going side by side and... yeah, it just hits the back of Gladdening. I'm not sure who squeezed who there. Unfortunately, we can't really get a good camera angle on that spot.
It looked like Glenning went over the front of the nose of the McLaren from some of them, as we've got no yellow flag of the 38. That is Rowley down in the barriers as he has retired.
Yep, unfortunately, that also means we can't what happened there.
Yeah, I think that one with Glenning in will need to be looked at by stewards if they feel the need. Under 10 minutes to go, so not exactly a lot of time. Given how long a lap is around here.
And that does seem to be clearly the best in the field right now.
Yeah, the gap's only 14 seconds now, so needs to be keeping a more consistent pace right now of all the cars, because you know Anderson, Lawrence, and Co are fairly close to qualifying, but all average of the race is keeping that pressure up.
Whitford's still not really catching up to Olsen.
Capped his teammate a bit.
Yeah, so it looks like a pretty solid P9 for Whitford right now.
Then for his teammate, which is... I mean, it's improvement for Whitford over the last race, I'll say that. Given that he was one of the first cars to end up out of that race.
Yeah. We haven't had a lot of retirements this race, fortunately. And a lot of weird issues and things last race. None of that here, fortunately.
Yeah, it's still a very calm race in terms of track action.
And you're getting very close to benches now, though.
Yeah, he's definitely closed that gap as we've got another yellow flag. That's Castro. A lot of damage to the side of that McLaren. I think he's run off at Pouon, it looks like. Gets back going again.
If we can tell what's happened there. And just slides into the corner. The damage on his car was already there. He didn't touch any barriers.
Must have thunked it earlier. Before he explains why he sort of slid into the corner like that. Sebastian's looking to make a move down. But no gap really there to make anything happen. He'll probably try his hardest in these next few minutes. Nygaard's close the gap to Alila. Under a second now between those two, so I wonder if Elias has a fairly slow lap this time around.
Yep. Vernier and Benches are side by side.
Alongside show going through Blanchimont. Oh, both cars just about in the track. But still alongside into the bus stop, but Bruno will have the inside line. Take the long way around to try and get a good run to the source. A bit far back to really make anything happen. Sebastian does move his way up to P11.
Nice move, sir, Sebastian.
As Elias under a lot of pressure now from Nygaard, so a bit slow at this stage. And he's all right behind him. Just under 4 minutes. I wonder. I don't think any reason why Elias pace would have dropped off so suddenly, because he was not exactly that far off the top 5. Or he's got a problem, or technical issue, or fuel, or something's up with that car right now.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem to have the pace anymore, for whatever reason. Seems to have any damage to his car. They are getting close to the bus stop once again. Will Nygaard be able to try anything? No, does not look like it.
Well,
And they've got Olsen coming up behind them as well. So he might be looking to take advantage of this situation.
For P6, so it's a pretty good points paying position. As the Whitford and Dalton have closed the gap to each other as well, so I wonder if some people are still making little mistakes at this stage. There's this very long legs in my room which is just still flapping around and hitting me in the face. What is doing?
Lila and Nygaard on the Camel Straight. No moves here. Getting ever closer though. Olsen getting ever closer as well. Where is Hyla on track right now? Getting closer to the end of his lap, so it looks like we're going to have one more lap after this one.
Yep. There's another yellow flag up right now. That's McRae. My God, it's a bit deep then.
And Hyla goes around the final corner to start the final lap.
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
Well, Nygaard lost a bit of time there through little mistakes there, so Olsen's right behind him.
On board with Olsen.
Down the inside, but sides against it. As carries off again. So this is the last lap for all you guys to see if I can do anything. Ooh, it's very close to the back then of Elida. As the checkered flag will now be waiting. As Castro has just got passed by the leader.
Lila and Nygaard on the camel straight again. No moves again. Nygaard just can't quite get close enough in the braking zones, seems.
Lex has got a lot of straight line speed, so it won't exactly be an easy task. The leader is trying to deal with some lap traffic right now as he heads towards Blanchimont. As
Hyla comes out the final corner as Wareham spins in the background.
and we'll win round 2 of the OVRC GT Series. Next to come home will be Anderson.
Oh,
Quite far
Posish and
back.
Marcus Lawrence are side by side through the final corner. How did that happen?
Very late Lawrence, who gets a better exit. Pottage is just ahead and will keep P3 by the skin of his teeth.
Grant Smith comes P5. Lila will stay ahead of Robert Nygaard and Thomas Olsen.
Those three are very close to each other right now.
Mark Whitford comes around the final corner, followed by his teammate John Dalton. They will come home in P9 and P10 respectively. And will be Sebastian Brunier and Chris Beentjes. Finishing in P11 and P12. MC Gladdening following in P13. That will be Kerbel in P14. We'll have Carlisle in P15. Just coming up to the bus stop now.
Yep. Durban will be next off those. By Damien Lowe, well, not the last car, catching McRae still yet to cross the line. Last car, which
Will be Damien Lowe in P17, and then Andy McRae is still coming up, still has a little while to go.
quite slowly. One of his lamps feel a little bit damage.
He does seem to have some damage for sure.
Oh yeah, he does. Looking at on board, his wheel is at a nice angle. Really.
I was looking at the other onboard where I couldn't see the wheel. Let's see now if he goes a straight line. Oh yeah, that's not how a wheel is supposed to be pointed when you're going in a straight line.
It's the new Porsche 911. No, it's
They've reinvented the wheel.
there we go. You know, how do we sell more Porsches? That's how I do it. So Hyler takes the victory of round 2. Anderson and Pottage rest down there at the other podium. Lawrence, Grant Smith, Elia, Nygaard, Olsen, Whitford, and Dalton are your top 10. And that is it. Of 1 hour of Spa. Hyler ran away with it, as he probably should have last round. But this time, I managed to keep the fuel in the car.
That is very important. You must have enough fuel in your car.
To finish it's rule number 2 of racing. Having fuel in your car does help.
Yes.
I don't know what the rules are. But yeah, thanks again everyone for tuning in. Everything going to plan. There should be something going on next week, and then after that, I'll be back to GT racing once again at whatever round we set it to.
Yeah. So, yep, it was a pretty enjoyable race overall, I think. If you enjoyed the race, we would really appreciate it if you could click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to catch our upcoming races. The ACC GT3 Series will be back in 2 weeks' time, when we will be at Imola.
Yep, we'll be back at Imola. So that should be good fun. Last time I went 3 wide into turn 1, so we'll see what happens again. Yeah, until then, everyone should still stay safe, and yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye.